The United States and Canada, two of the world's largest trading partners, found themselves on the brink of a trade war. This potential conflict threatened to disrupt the flow of goods and services that had been the backbone of their economic relationship for decades. The U.S. President Donald Trump, known for his protectionist policies, threatened to impose hefty tariffs on Canadian imports. His administration argued that these measures were necessary to protect American industries and jobs from what they perceived as unfair trade practices. This move sent shockwaves through both economies and raised concerns about the future of their long-standing trade relationship. Businesses on both sides of the border braced for potential disruptions, and economists began to predict the possible fallout. The heart of the dispute was Trump's announcement to increase tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum imports to a staggering 50%. This drastic measure was seen as a direct attack on key sectors of the Canadian economy. This proposal came as a blow to Canada, a country heavily reliant on its southern neighbor for trade. Canadian officials quickly condemned the move, warning of retaliatory measures that could escalate the situation further. The announcement, made on Trump's preferred platform, Truth Social, cited Ontario's electricity pricing policies as the primary justification for the proposed tariffs. This reasoning was met with skepticism by many experts who saw it as a pretext for broader protectionist goals. The news of the potential tariffs immediately sent ripples across the financial world. Investors reacted swiftly, fearing the economic instability that a trade war could bring. The U.S. stock market, a barometer of investor confidence, experienced a significant dip. The uncertainty surrounding the trade policies created a volatile environment for traders and investors alike. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a key indicator of the market's health, plummeted by 478 points, a drop of 1.1%. This decline reflected the broader concerns about the economic impact of the proposed tariffs. This sudden downturn underscored the anxiety surrounding the potential trade war and its implications for the global economy. The stakes were high, and the world watched closely as the situation continued to unfold. At the heart of the escalating trade tensions lay a seemingly mundane issue: electricity. Ontario, Canada's most populous province, had implemented a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to the United States. This surcharge, according to the Trump administration, unfairly disadvantaged American consumers and businesses reliant on Canadian power. The surcharge, Ontario Premier Doug Ford argued, was necessary to stabilize the province's energy market and ensure affordable electricity for its residents. However, the Trump administration viewed it as a protectionist measure designed to shield Canadian energy producers from competition. The surcharge became a flashpoint, igniting a trade dispute that extended far beyond the realm of energy policy. The prospect of a full-blown trade war between the U.S. and Canada sent shockwaves through the global economy. The initial market reaction to Trump's tariff threat was swift and negative. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a key indicator of U.S. stock market performance, tumbled by 478 points, a significant drop reflecting investor anxiety. Economists warned of dire consequences if the trade dispute escalated. Tariffs, they argued, would disrupt the intricate supply chains that bind the two economies, leading to higher prices for businesses and consumers alike. The uncertainty surrounding trade policy also threatened to dampen investment and economic growth on both sides of the border. Canada, initially caught off guard by the sudden tariff threat, responded with a mix of defiance and pragmatism. Ontario Premier Doug Ford, initially resolute in maintaining the electricity surcharge, faced mounting pressure from businesses and industry groups concerned about the potential fallout of a trade war. The Canadian government, while preparing retaliatory measures should the tariffs be imposed, also engaged in diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, in a strongly worded statement, denounced Trump's justifications for the tariffs as baseless and harmful to the interests of both countries. Section 5. Trump's reversal on additional tariffs. In a surprising turn of events, Trump reversed his decision to impose the additional 25% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum. This decision came as a shock to many, given the administration's previous hardline stance on trade. This unexpected move came after Ontario, in a bid to ease trade tensions, agreed to suspend the controversial electricity surcharge. The surcharge had been a significant point of contention, affecting the cost of production for many industries. The existing 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports, applied universally to all countries, remained in effect. This meant that while Canada received a temporary reprieve, other nations continued to face the hefty tariffs. Trump's reversal, while signaling a de-escalation of the immediate crisis, did little to alleviate the underlying trade tensions. Businesses and investors remained wary, uncertain about the future direction of trade policies. The threat of future tariffs on Canadian goods, including automobiles, loomed large. This uncertainty created a challenging environment for businesses trying to plan for the future. The 25% tariff on steel and aluminum, a legacy of Trump's earlier trade battles, continued to strain the bilateral trade relationship. Both countries remained on edge, navigating the complexities of international trade in an unpredictable landscape. Section 6. The 51st State Proposition. Adding fuel to the fire, Trump, in his characteristically provocative style, suggested that Canada should consider becoming the 51st state of the United States. This proposition, initially dismissed as a joke, raised eyebrows in Canada and fueled anti-American sentiment in some quarters. Canadian officials, while acknowledging the close ties between the two countries, vehemently rejected the notion of surrendering their sovereignty. The 51st state comment, while likely intended as a negotiating tactic, underscored the power imbalance and Trump's dismissive attitude towards Canada's national interests. Section 7. The Road Ahead. Trade talks and lingering tensions. Despite the easing of immediate tensions, the future of U.S.-Canada trade relations remained uncertain. The two countries agreed to engage in high-level trade talks aimed at resolving outstanding issues and preventing future disputes. These talks, however, faced an uphill battle given the lingering mistrust and the Trump administration's unpredictable nature. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, the successor to the North American Free Trade Agreement, provided a framework for trade relations. However, the recent dispute highlighted the fragility of the agreement and the ease with which political whims could disrupt the carefully calibrated balance of trade. Section 8. The economic fallout, potential job losses, and market instability. The trade dispute, despite its relatively short duration, had a tangible impact on both economies. The uncertainty surrounding trade policy led businesses to delay investments and consumers to postpone major purchases. The stock market, a barometer of economic confidence, experienced heightened volatility, reflecting investor anxiety. Economists warned of potential job losses in both countries if the trade war escalated. The tariffs, they argued, would disrupt supply chains, increase the cost of raw materials, and make North American businesses less competitive globally. The automotive industry, heavily integrated across the U.S.-Canada border, faced significant risks. Section 9. Conclusion. The importance of diplomacy in a globalized world. The trade dispute between the U.S. and Canada served as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the global economy and the importance of diplomacy in resolving international disagreements. This conflict, which involved tariffs on steel and aluminum, had far-reaching consequences, affecting industries and workers on both sides of the border. The dispute, while ultimately de-escalated, highlighted the fragility of trade relations and the ease with which political considerations could disrupt economic stability. Stock markets reacted with volatility, and news headlines were dominated by the potential fallout. As the world becomes increasingly globalized, the need for cooperation and understanding between nations becomes paramount. Diplomatic efforts are essential in maintaining the smooth flow of goods and services across borders, ensuring that global supply chains remain intact. The U.S.-Canada trade dispute underscored the importance of dialogue, compromise, and a commitment to finding mutually beneficial solutions to complex challenges. Through negotiation and diplomacy, both countries were able to reach an agreement that benefited their economies and strengthened their relationship. The alternative, Protectionism, isolationism, and trade wars serves only to harm the interests of all involved. Abandoned factories and empty shipping ports stand as stark reminders of the consequences of failed diplomacy. Protests against trade policies further illustrate the discontent that arises when nations turn inward instead of working together. For more on news around the world, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so we can send you notification anytime we post a new video. Thank you for watching.